So they're on their 6th lap. They've got 2 more laps to go when they complete this one. But I think they can go full rich all the way to the end, whereas it will be an extra little splash in the pit lane. So those 4 cars are going to have a bit of a fight. What do we know about the Lamborghini Huracan? It's the fastest car on the track. Pole position, outside pole position. First time a Lamborghini's been on the front row, and they only locked out the front row for the start of the race yesterday. And that car's done an 8:08.7 against best times of 13s, 12s, 15s of the cars ahead of it. I mean, the extraordinary thing is that Rover Racing BMW, the M4, its best lap is 7 seconds away from what the Lamborghini Huracan's done. Now, you're looking at perfect scenarios here, but that gives you, David Pittard, an idea. You wouldn't want to be at a 7-second disadvantage for 1 lap pace. You'd want to have that in your pocket, wouldn't you?
Yes, but yeah, I reckon that BMW's got it. It's got something.
I'm actually impressed that the M3 Touring has got a faster lap than the M4.
Yeah.
That to me, that's the start of the race if that stays like that.
Yeah.
Right now, David, before we let you can sit here as long as you like, but I want to ask you a question, and by all means, say, Hindhoff, I can't answer that, and why have you asked me, right? And this is about some testing that you've been doing with Toyota and the new car. It was your helmet I saw round here a little while ago doing a Thursday test. Is there anything you can tell me about that? Was it not you? Was it your helmet and somebody else was driving it? You can't tell me. Just tell me if you can't tell me. He's turned his back. That's your problem. Okay. You can't. That's no. You understand why I have to ask? Because I'm being asked as well, right? That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. We're not the sort of people who try and trip. This is not Meet the Press or Newsnight or anything like that. And I've known David too long to fall out with him. So,
no chance of that, John.
Well, thank you very much indeed. All right, Fred Vervies is also picking up the pace. 6th position for HRT at Ford Racing tonight.
I'm just going to ask David, while we've got him here, a potentially daft question, but it's always good to get a driver's angle. I'm going to ask you what's one of your favourite GT3 cars to drive. You're going to say anything that wins. You're going to say the 296, of course. Put the logical, initial, default racing driver question to answer to one side. What do you enjoy driving the most? What do you say about really get you and go, yes, I'm looking forward to that again?
A car with 4 wheels and a steering wheel. No, I'm joking. No, I'm not tied to any manufacturer, so I can be actually quite open to that one at the moment.
Do they all have different characteristics?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So, like front engine stuff, generally they will overload the front axle in the slower speed stuff, so they don't rotate as well as the mid-engine Lamborghinis, who are always super fast on the Grand Prix circuit when you look at the sectors, because listening to like Nicky Katzberg talk about it, he says, I just have neutral steer, I don't have to do anything, it just turns itself effectively. Traction control, don't need that. Like, it's super impressive like that. The Aston has one of the best TC systems because it needs it. The traction's not amazing. The Merc has a very simple TC system because it's got so much grip. It doesn't need a complicated system. So yeah, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. But to answer your question, Snowy, the car I enjoy the most is the Porsche. The screaming flat 6, 9,000 RPM engine.
Yeah, so you've just ruined it, because I hope you were going to
feistiest.
Aston Martin this side of the booth and Porsche that side of the booth. So yeah, you know who pays you, don't you? Yeah, exactly. Back to that again.
That final iteration of that flat 6, which came out of the GTE car, so for almost 4.2 now they got that out there, and it's 4.187 or something like that. And I once asked one of the engineers, why is it not just 4.2? And there was an engine sitting there without the head on, and he went, have a look at that. And the gaps between the pistons were infinitesimally small. Crazy. You could not measure them. That's as much as they could take them out. Guys, we've got a great battle here. It's for 6th, but Vervies and Vantor in the line speed GP. That car's been quiet. That Porsche's been quiet. I expected to see that further up. It didn't have a perfect start to the week. They're coming through the neutralised zone, through the Kleine Carousel now, and up towards the Gallows Hill, the Galgenkopf, through this really tricky. Looks easy on the track map, but it's a triple apex, effectively, triple pressure corner, you would call it in bobsleighing, and it's the last bit you've got to get right, David, to get the speed down on the Dottinger.
At this point, yeah, you're now full gas for 2.6 kilometres. Thank you very much, TV caption, for saving me some embarrassment. But yeah, it's fight on. You look at the way Nicky's attacking the traffic at the moment. He is trying to keep the Mustang behind him because he knows that Sheldon van der Linde in the BMW is coming. If he can keep a rear gunner in the Ford there, that helps him. But at the same time, the Ford wants to unlap itself and obviously achieve the best result it can as well. But you see that there's not much margin in the traffic that Nicky's taking at the moment. He's going for it.
So he could afford to let it through because it's a lap down, isn't it?
He could do, yes.
Let unlap himself, and it's still not a battle for position yet.
Yeah.
I have some news on the number 3 car, and I don't think that car's coming out anytime soon. Whether they want to finish the race and take the checkered flag is something different. Stefan Wendel, who's the man at the head of customer racing for AMG, and a really genuine chap, loves his motor racing. Any time spent with Stefan talking is time well spent. As in for its pit stop on time comes the HRT Ford Racing Mustang. Don't worry, they're putting the dollies underneath. The fuel pistol grip is already in. They'll twist that back round to 45 degrees and park it nice and neatly. Stefan saying we received an ABS warning. Danny Hunkadea said he could handle it. Then noises and vibrations started. So 2 laps he tried to keep that going, made an unscheduled pit stop, and it was damage to the drive shaft, which has caused further collateral damage. We definitely want to get back into the race, so we are repairing it. So maybe a sensor.
You said a sensor, didn't you?
Yeah. Was that that would have been effect though if the drive shaft was going? The vibration might have taken.
Sounds like if it's collateral, maybe something's loose and just ripped a load of wiring, sensors.
Yeah. So
fair play to Danny for doing a couple of laps with no ABS around the Nordschleife.
Yeah, I can handle it. Fair
play to him.
Yeah, very good indeed. So this then the Bundeswehr sponsored machine, the German army in the cabo, absolutely brilliant and great to get them involved. It tells you a lot about the status of this event when you see the amount of manufacturers, the amount of real sponsors that are in there. Maro Engel coming in now. This is the leader, so he is almost a lap ahead then of that 67 of Frederick Vervisch. So this now has to be a very sensible pit stop. I guarantee you they will check everything on that car. They have time in hand, over 6 minutes in hand, 2/3 of a lap nearly here around here. David, I am going to let you go this time. Thank you so much indeed.
No worries. No, always good to chat.
When do we see you
Hopefully
again?
we can do it in better circumstances.
Yeah, well, indeed.
I will be at Le Mans with Darren in WRT, so
Excellent.
maybe I'll swing past there.
Yeah, that'd be absolutely great. They've had a good start to the season with a win with Dan Hartmer in the other car, so that's really good. With the guys there, Tony McIntosh and Parker Thompson, wasn't it?
Correct.
From that, and I'm told Tony's got a different throwback livery for every car this year, and he's not saying what they are. So
fantastic!
I'm absolutely,
what a character!
I'm loving it. And of course, BMW won outright at WRC last weekend. So there's a bit of momentum there because I know that it's hypercar versus GT, but the rising tide lifts all ships.
Yeah, well, everyone's motivated. Everyone's seen it happen. Everyone's seen it happen in-house, and they want to get that. I think Le Mans is about the only thing that WRT haven't won. They've won it in LMP2, but
even in odd circumstances when they had a sensor fail when they should have had a 1-2 in LMP2, and if a year, I still can't talk to him
a steering wheel
about that.
change on the lead car.
Oh, good spot But again, they've got the time. You do everything. Anything that's throwing up a fault
It's
code.
still 45 seconds but of the minimum pit stop time, but then they've still got 7 minutes on top of that.
Anything that's showing up an error code, you're not just going to clear it at this point. You're going to search for it.
It looks like it.
Why would they do that, David?
I don't know.
I mean, that's quite a major thing. You don't change that during a race. Normally, this whole column's movable and adjustable. What's precautionary about that?
There's not much software or there's hardware in terms of the basic stuff of changing gears, but the AMG wheel is so simple. There's not actually much on there at all.
Is there a driver information system on that? Is there a screen? No, so that's in front of you. That's on the normal.
It's so basic.
Right, so it's gear change or radio button.
Start button, flash button, drink button,
and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay.
I've just got one question I just wanted to ask David Waddick, and then we will let you go. We've established you've driven lots of these lovely GT3 cars around here and other places. Lots of variety. What's your daily driver?
My Seat Leon.
There you go. There you go.
So
don't need anything special on the road when you drive these things.
Well, exactly.
My Seat Leon is very special.
Very special.
Well, yours is, of course, yes. It's got provenance, yes.
Well, we've got a little Seat Ibiza as well, a little station wagon. It's great. Not a fast wagon, but it is a wagon. Very small wagon. David, thank you, mate.
Always a pleasure, guys. Thank you very much.
And
thank you so much.
Adding great context to what we've seen. As you know, there's a lot of people here watching for the first time. You've given invaluable insight to people, and maybe you've grabbed a few fans. And obviously, you can follow David and the rest of the WRT BMW team at Le Mans via Radio Le Mans, and RS1 will be down there all week. We even cover the test day as well. Might even come and see you then.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds good.
Have a good one.
Cheers, guys.
Not got far to go home.
And I'll be in the pits coming to annoy him anyway.
Yeah, barbecue will be on later on. Indy qualifying tonight. Watch a bit of that. Yeah. One and done tonight because it got rained off yesterday.
John, that was a typical driver's response, yeah? Indy 500 qualifying site. Is it on? I'm not in the race, so why would I know about it?
Good point. Good point. Well, let's just review what's been going on. An ABS and drive shaft problem for one of the two cars that's dominated more than half of the race, and the number 3 Winward Racing Mercedes AMG, the Verstappen.com racing car, with just under 4 hours to go. Danny Hunkadaya tried to get it back, but the damage has been done.
Not unsurprisingly, David made some very valuable points, but the one that got my interest there was the possibility, and it is speculation, we don't know, but the possibility of that late night contact between
early morning contact,
you're right, sorry, between Max Verstappen when he was in the number 3 car and Mauro Engel in the number 80 car that's now the two teammates. It was side on side. So okay, if that's the cause, and we are speculating here, so there's lots of ifs here, I know, but if that were to be something that's collateral further down the line, how's the 80 getting on? What part of that car was damaged or not in that incident?
Well, Fabi Schiller will be finding out as he goes out now. These races are seldom won by the fastest car. Talking to some of my Australian colleagues earlier on, and Jackie Warnock made a very, very good point on one of the socials. This place, Le Mans, Bathurst and Mount Panorama, it's almost as if the circuit has its own personality, and we say sometimes Bathurst chooses, the mountain chooses, and the Nürburgring has a personality, has a character like that. Jochen from Frozen Speed is back with us. What drama we've had. What sort of a night did you have?
I had a great night. It's become rare over the last years that I'm able to do all my wished for night photography, and there was no interruption this night, and I got my hoped for shots with the long exposure at Weersdijk.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, and then at Carousel as well. That's just special. You're in the dark, in the cold, by yourself, and the cars are just buzzing by you, blinding you. It's a special feeling, and it pushes away your tiredness really quickly.
Nicky Team in from 3rd position in the Valkenhorst Aston Martin on the Pirellis. I take it for those long exposures, you've got to have a monopod or a tripod, probably,
Yes,
actually.
I have a tripod and a remote control on the flash and on the shutter.
Excellent.
Yeah.
It was very clear overnight, even when we came in at 4:15 this morning, where we were out just south of Kelberg. It was quite foggy, but as the closer we got, the fog disappeared, and the stars were fantastic, but it was cold.
It was very cold, and it wasn't so clear at Weerseifen, to be honest, because the barbecue smoke was quite thick. It was quite thick. And to give some atmosphere to the scene, if I can, at one point there was a group of fans that went down the hill, and I know that hill very well, that hillside, and credit to them, they have more coordination than me to get there, and probably also more alcohol. And they were just really low down in the fence, dancing to their own music from upstairs.
Nice.
And the marshals kind of started whistling at them to get out of there. And every time they came in the light of the cars, all you could see was them dancing. And they were totally oblivious of... They looked at the cars, fair play, but they were totally oblivious of their other surroundings. And they just didn't stop dancing there in the headlights of the cars, and it was hilarious.
We have a phrase in England, don't we, John, that's a dance like no one's working or no one's watching.
Yeah,
as
exactly.
in just your own world. Yeah,
Absolutely.
brilliant.
Very, very good. Still 48 seconds of the mandatory pit time. Nicky team staying in the car, burning a bit of fuel at the back, running a little bit rich on the right-hand bank of that Aston.
Well, that's the car that we thought was slightly having a bit of overfill, wasn't it? Like,
oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah.
That is right. Well done, Peter. That was a long time ago.
On our morning stint, it's 5:30 to 7:30. That does seem like a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. I'm hearing that the Milner Motorsport Porsche Cup 2 car, the number 918, that's the one that Michelle Gatting is in, has had to call it a day. They've been driving without third gear for 4.5, 5 hours, which round here must have been difficult. And that is a paddle shift car as well, of course. It's not an H-pattern car.
I was just thinking that if you've got a manual paddle shift box, you can what they call block shift and miss it out. It's not ideal, but it saves it. But on a paddle shift, it's not as easy to go through a missing gear. On a manual lever, you can go 2 to 4 and miss it out.
Yeah, exactly so. Sequentials and paddle shifts, not that easy. The Subaru been leading its class. Now, it did drop out of the way of the lead in the class, the number 88, in the SP3T, isn't it, the number 88, I think. They're back in. Kota Sasaki behind the wheel. Just great exponents and supporters of this race down through the years. The bright blue STI Subaru Technica International WRX has its followers.
Yeah, I've got a fun detail on that car. I saw on one of the photos it's got a lot of Japanese writing on the bumper traditionally, and I put that through Google Translate, and it turns out to be the names of all the dealerships of Subaru in Japan, which I think is really cool. Yeah,
I'm not super cool.
I'm not 100% sure they have it again this year, but I suspect they do.
That is
they definitely
brilliant.
had it last year.
I love the little details like that. It's those wee stories that really make the difference. The reverse Grello, more green than yellow, is the 992. This is the SP Pro car. And the Greisman fuels machine. Manthey. Well, there's nothing much you can say about Manthey around here. They were actually, in 2006, the last team to get a 1-2 finish. In 2016, the last time AMG won, it was 2 AMGs, but they weren't the same team. Olaf and subsequently his son running that and could barely get much closer. There's a few local teams here, but they're from just up the road. Always used to just drive the cars down, never even put them in the trailer, put a flashing amber beacon on the top, and get a little police escort to come down early in the week. So the B195 Tribute, the Bitburger car, doesn't it work really well?
It does work
on the
really
McLaren.
Well. Yes. It's done by Berserk Design, who does great liveries since a long time at the Nordschleife. Oh,
Oh, no, we got a fire.
658, one of the BMWs. That's a 240i, isn't it?
It is indeed. It's the M240i Racing
Hakan Sari.
Club, yeah.
Now, not at the wheel of that, but I don't think he's aware that it is actually pretty well barbecuing underneath.
He is. He's going to get over the barrier, I think. And that's thick black smoke. It's caught.
It's now out the side as well, John.
It's caught on the grass as well. That needs the fire tender to it. Quickly, we saw a very lovely Opel Ascona air-cooled car in the DHLM. When was that? Friday. That's had an engine fire, which looked like a fuel fire, and that looked like a fuel fire as well. Jochen from Frozen Speed is here. So, Jochen, we talked about some of your assistants taking some great photos. How many people do you have working with you at an event like this?
At this event, I have one extra photographer, who's Florian Schmitz, who regularly helps me out at events, track days and races.
So, and it is your whole business now is photography. You don't have a quote-unquote day job. This is your day job.
No, motorsport photography has been my full-time day job since 2005. Yeah. So, and before I used to be an automotive software engineer. And yeah, in 2005 I decided to give it a go. And I was in the lucky position where I could decide to give it a go and see 6 months and then see what happens. And I never looked back. And I haven't regretted it for 1 second.
How much has changed in that time in terms of how you work, the equipment that you use, the amount of events that you do?
It's a good question. It's definitely a game of adapt to all the change, and that's the game for a lot of businesses, I suppose. It's just keep adapting. The landscape has changed. I'm doing a lot of track days now, more than I used to. We cover a lot of track days. Since last year, I'm very happy and proud to be officially partnered with the racetrack Spa-Francorchamps, which as a Belgian gives an extra warm feeling. And yeah, I am lucky to be able to pick some great races besides the NLS, do the Spa 24, the Spa WEC, the N24 of course. I'm lucky to be invited by Goodwood regularly to shoot for them at their fantastic events.
2008, by the way, I knew that, I just said the wrong thing. 2008 for the last 1-2 team finish, it was still Manthey. Well, the fire is out on that BMW. Drivers left. We've got one of the intervention vehicles there as well, and that is coming up to the end of the lap. Only a short tow into the pit lane. The BMW in second position, the Rover BMW. The last year's winning car, the number one, we had that perish earlier on in the race. There was a characteristic misjudgment by Raffaele Marciello, hit the back of the number 40 Z3 2013 car and came into the pits. Now, whether it's a direct result of that or something that had been bubbling under because they'd had some fueling issues in the pit lane, but a fuel problem is what we heard from that car, and it was pretty quickly pushed out the back of the garage and back into the paddock. So, pit stop then for the number 99. Coming in out of second, and that car then with, what have we got, 138 laps completed, and so we have 2 hours and 31 minutes to go. Take about an hour and 7 off that for the next stint. That gives you an hour and 24. Take an hour and 7 off that, and that gives you let me see, gives you 18 minutes, doesn't it? 17, 18 minutes, so they're just short. Oh dear me, that's going to be tight. So they can't make it on an exact number of stops. That number 99, the 99 and the number 34, which is the Nicky Team Valkenhorst car, which was in just a few moments ago. They're a little further on the wrong side of it. However, by my very rough and tired calculations, both the Red Bull team at Lamborghini and the BMW M Motorsport M3 Touring 24H from 81 car, currently in 5th. They could go at the end on an exact number of stops, so no little splash at the end. The leader has to splash at the end as well, but their current lead is well over 4 minutes. Let's call it 4.5 minutes at the moment. But the battle for second and third is absolutely on. And a little bit of rain or a little bit of neutralised track, and you stretch those stints from 1 hour and 7 to 1 hour and 10. Oh, hang on, then all of a sudden it's 1 hour and 15, and it starts to come down very quickly. Jochen from Frozen Speed.
Yes, John, if I can quickly come back to the question you asked me, what changed with my business. I realized that the biggest change that has happened in my business is that it changed from being the one-man Jochen show to a team effort. And that kind of happened, I think, around 10, 15 years ago, when I decided to start getting people involved that I had a great feeling with. Usually, well, without exception, they are friends, and I have a great feeling with them, and I admire their photography, and they've become really, they are really strong photographers helping me out. I've had people help me on the office side. I have people help me on the sales side. I have people helping me with the business advisor side, and all of them have pushed Frozen Speed to a different level. Yeah. And that's the biggest change, that it's not the one-man show anymore.
That's quite brave, isn't it? We went through the same thing. Oh, here's the rain. Excellent. And let's just roll the dice. And we've rolled a 6, so let's draw a chance card. Coming down through the Stefan Belloff is Fabian Schiller, now leader of the race, on slick tyres. It's not heavy rain, but it's more than a little bit of mist in the air. I think all small businesses, all one-man shows, or as it was with even Ivor Ridge,